Hello! In this video, we are going to be learning about some simple math and if statements. So basically, when I talk about simple math, it's just 8 plus 3. Oh, I need this. It's just 8 plus 3, something like that. So basically, if we do a print statement here, and we put 8 plus 3, we will print out 8 plus 3. So run this. See? It's 11. But it's different from if we put these quotes here. It'll just print out 8 plus 3. Like that. See? So, this is for the plus symbol. This is the multiplication, subtraction, and division. So you can put all of that in here or in a variable or in anywhere you like. So now that's covered, we're going to go over if statements. And if statements are basically where you go like this. If something something, then something something. So it goes like this. You write if space and you write the condition. So basically if 3 3 is bigger than 5, which is never true. So it only does this if it's true, but now it's false because 3 isn't bigger than 5. Smaller than 5? It's always gonna be true. So we do this colon here and we press enter. See how it indent expected? It says indent expected. Yeah, that means we need to always do an indent after if statements. If you're going in like Notepad or something, anything that isn't the Python IDE, that isn't supposed to be for Python, and you named a .py in it, you're supposed to do an indent here. Otherwise, it's just going to go to the new line without an indent. And an indent is 4 spaces or a tab. If you do a tab, or 4 spaces. But you can never mix both. So you can't go like tab, 4 spaces for 2 indents. You can't do that. Otherwise, it's just tab or 8 spaces. So if that is true, then we're gonna print this is true. I'm just randomly making up text. Okay. So if we do that, this is true because this is true, so they'll print out this. But if this is false, they won't do anything. See? So this can be used more advanced, such as if we put a variable here, such as a equals input. I'm gonna make enter a number, and colon space. If a is smaller than 5, then print your number is smaller than 5. Is smaller than 5. gonna run that, enter a number. I'm gonna do 2. Okay, so there's an error. See, there's supposed to be an error in here because type error. This is not supposed to be a string in it. So what I've done here is A is a string, but 5 is an integer. So we have to do this. Int. Int means we convert any string that has integers in it, such as this, to to this. So that's what it does. Converts to an integer. And there's also float, which is like this. You just write float like that, and you put whatever you want. An integer is a whole number, and you'll get an error if you're trying to convert this into an integer. An integer has to be a whole number, so you'll probably get an error when you're doing that. And if you have like 2.1, you'll have to use a float, which is decimal number. So always have a decimal point. Even if you do whole numbers, it has to be like, pretend if the whole number was 5, it goes like 5.0000. So now if we do it, the number is smaller than 5. But if you notice, if we enter a number bigger than 5, it doesn't say anything. Okay, now. So after the if statement, if this is not true, it can keep on going. You can write another if and write something behind it, like a condition. But if you have to write it just after the if, you can do elif and then write a condition. Let's say a is equal to 5. You can do as many elifs as you want after an if statement. And then, yeah. So if that is true, in here, a equals to 5. If that is true, it says a equals 5, and Python thinks that's what, how do I say it? A equals 5 is true by default. So you can say this: if elif a equals 5, then equal to, if a equals 5, I'm gonna make a bracket around that, is double equal to, I call that it's equal to, but when you're doing it in an if statement, it has to be 2 equal signs, because an equal sign here is setting a variable to something, not comparing it. This is comparing it. So I have to compare it to true. If this is equal to true, then we have to do something. But Python's default doesn't need this. It just says it's true. You can do it like equal to false, compare it to false. Yeah. Then print your number is 5. And else, this is what you do after you finished your if and elif. You do an if and how many elifs you want, and at the very end you do an else. And else doesn't need any statements, any conditions, because it just basically does this. If this is not true, and if all the elifs are not true, then this has to be true. So this will get executed if none of these are true. But if one of them are true, then this won't get executed. So I'm going to say else we will do print your number is bigger than 5. So let's test that out. And before I run this code, I want to tell you something. In the next tutorial, I'm gonna cover how to do debugging like I did before, because this was a string and this was an integer. And make sure you subscribe to see that video. Syntax error, a equals 5. You guys probably noticed this. It's hard to type while talking. There we go. Enter a number. 4, it's smaller than 5. Your number is smaller than 5. If we run that again, we do 5. Your number is 5. That again, if we do like 100, your number is bigger than 5. So that is probably about this video. I'll see you next time, and make sure you subscribe for more videos.